from producing music, pressing the vinyl, distribution of the vinyl, and also selling the vinyl. Everybody's talking about digital transformation, but most of the time it's only focused on we want to have a new system.
Yeah. We need a new platform.
We need a new platform. Most of the companies are not starting from scratch.
No.
They have a legacy.
Yeah.
They have to deal with that legacy.
Yeah.
They want to try to connect old and new systems.
Yeah.
You are connected to the Evolving Digital Podcast.
Hi, I'm Adam Butler, and this is Evolving Digital. We're here to pull back the curtains and share the secrets of digital giants and disruptors. We'll be bringing you high-quality, in-depth interviews, and all we ask of you is that you hit that subscribe button so we can keep doing this. Now let's jump into it.
Today we have Irene Schaefers with us, head of e-commerce, and nowadays long track record in digital. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. We're going to talk today a little bit about your insights in how digital has been evolving. The pitfalls that you encountered, but especially also how do you feel about how transformation is being handled by companies, and what is the most, for you, one of the important things that make a digital transformation a success. So how did you get where you're at right now? So you just started a new role as head of e-commerce. And before that, you were especially in marketing and communications, I guess. Where were your first kind of steps into the digital realm?
I started my career in marketing and communications, and I made a big change when I was working for Siemens.
Right.
I was working in the industrial part of Siemens, and at a certain moment, the economy was getting worse, and I had to change from job. And I said to my manager, if we're not going to change our way of making connections with customers, we're going to lose the battle. And he said to me, what are your plans? Can you make a kind of strategy for us? And feel free to give us your input. So I took the time to write a strategy, and after that they said to me, it looks great, now it's up to you.
Run with it.
Run with it.
Okay.
Try to roll out the digital ecosystem that's necessary to get closer to our customers.
Oh, that's a small assignment with the Siemens. Oh my God.
Yeah, but
right.
It was a very, very nice assignment.
And that was focused on the customer, how you interact with customers.
Yeah.
Was it called customer experience back then?
No.
Not making any suggestions here, but was it?
No, it was in that time. I think that we were talking about 2015, 2014. So the word customer experience was not that
not a real
popular
thing
as it is right now.
Yeah.
But it was all related to getting more insights about our customers. The fact that customers are also interested in not only in product, but they are interested in value.
Right.
And that makes a total different way of selling and having interactions with your
This was in a
customer.
B2B setting then?
It was in a B2B setting.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was kind of early to start a project like that.
That was great.
Yeah.
And when I realized the basics for the system, I decided after 10 years of Siemens, it's time to do something else, because the world has a lot more to offer. And then I switched to a total different role as IT consultant in the banking industry.
Wow, that's different.
Yeah, that was. I think that's also a bit of how I'm like a person. I like challenges.
Yeah.
I like to challenge the status quo.
Good.
And I learned a lot about architecture, systems, Salesforce, security, business processes, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting year, but after a year I decided the banking world is not my world.
Right.
And then I switched to Damen.
Right. Yeah.
So
Shipyards.
That's also the shipyards, and especially the repair division.
Okay. Yeah.
And also there I got the chance to build up a marketing department with a special focus also on data.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to do something with Salesforce.
Yeah.
And it was up to me to define a direction.
How was that different from the IT role you had with the bank? Is it because I know a little bit about Damen, and I know they have a very like innovative view on things. I don't know how they how they execute on it, but was it more of a pioneering environment than at the bank, or?
Yeah, because at the banking environment there were already portals.
Right.
For doing your to arrange everything around your savings account.
Yeah.
So, but for Damen, it was totally new to have portals and use Salesforce to get more insights about your customers and how you connect external and internal data to do the beginning steps of predictive selling.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also pioneering.
Yeah. Yeah.
And together with a team with marketeers and business analysts and somebody who helped us with getting people on board with Salesforce.
Mm-hmm.
The real support functions that are, in my opinion, crucial to get people on board when you want to work with other kinds of systems.
Definitely, yeah.
But then came Corona.
Right.
And
the big COVID.
Yes, and like most of the companies, also Damen had a hard time.
Yeah.
And then I decided when COVID became a bit more stable, I decided to look for another challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to a Bunzl company. Most of the people don't know Bunzl. It's a very big international company focused on everything related to do business. But for example, if you order a package of bol.com, all the packages are from Bunzl companies.
Right.
And they also have a part that's focused on safety.
Yeah.
They have a company that's called All Shoes.
Right.
That has specialized in safety footwear. They introduced the safety sneaker in the safety environment.
Oh yeah, you don't look like you're wearing big clogs, but it's kind of fashionable, right?
Yeah. And they also have a company that's named Majestic.
Okay.
And they have all the things that you need to work in a safe environment: your gloves, your
hard hats,
glasses, everything.
Yeah.
And they wanted to combine these two companies to get a better approach to the end customers. And they were searching for a person who wants to build up a shared staff center.
Right. Okay.
And that was very interesting job, because Allshoe is more a startup / scale up.
Yeah.
And Majestic is more a traditional one.
Right.
And also Allshoe had a very innovative idea on how to get in contact with your customers using customer data. So in my opinion, it was great to combine these two worlds.
And was it focused more on process or people, or also on the more the technology side?
The integration of all the stuff.
All the stuff. Right. Wow. Cool. And then came the next step.
And then now the next step, I'm going to start in a total new world.
Yeah.
The music industry.
It's
Yes.
It's a totally different thing.
It's a total different thing, and I'm going to combine vinyl with digital.
Yeah. You told me about that when we had our little chat before this podcast, and it was like, okay, yeah. So vinyl is almost the most traditional way of as a carrier of music.
Yeah.
There's all the digital music now, all the digital streaming platforms.
Yeah.
So how does that work from what is it that you're going to do there?
what I'm going to do there. I think that the interesting part is that Artone, that's the name of the company, they had the idea that they had to combine all the steps in the chain, from producing music, pressing the vinyl, distribution of the vinyl, and also selling the vinyl.
Yeah.
They the past 2 years they had mergers and bought some companies, and now they are able to facilitate the whole chain. For example, they have a studio in Haarlem,
Yeah.
where you can do records. They have the pressing company also in Haarlem.
Yeah, that actually creates the vinyl.
Yeah, and they do it for if a band wants to press his own vinyl, that's possible. But also companies like Warner Bros, Universal, so the big American companies are customers. And they also have their own white labels like V2.
Cool.
And if the pressings are ready, they're going to the distribution center in Capella aan de IJssel, and from there it will be distributed abroad to America, UK, and all other countries.
It's an industry.
That's really an industry, and I think it's a kind of a hidden gem.
Yeah.
And that's also why I like it so much. It combines really something traditional with a lot of passion in it.
Yeah.
If you're talking about vinyl, everybody gets a smile on his face.
Well, I do, because I collect it, but
and it's a total experience.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's not about the music, but it's also about the sleeve, the artwork that's on the sleeve. So
the color of the vinyl.
The color of the vinyl, especially, and that you can. It's touchable.
Yeah. It's
and
tangible.
I think that's great to combine the more traditional music carrier with the whole commerce part. And I think that people are really also they like it to share their opinion, share their data.
Right.
And I think that if we're looking to the future, it will bring us big surprises.
Sounds good. Sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at what you just told me, that you just said, that's me like a person.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the challenges of new things.
Yeah.
Is there like could you, if you look back at where you started and where you're heading right now, your role as somebody that is responsible for digital transitions, has that changed? Has that, for instance, first it was like a pioneering thing, and now it's more of a how do you see yourself, your role right now as being responsible for e-commerce in a very traditional with a traditional product?
Yeah.
Has that changed over the years? Has that been
I think the
evolution?
fact that I've done so many roles in different kind of companies, I got a more complete overview of all the aspects that are related to digital transformation.
Yeah.
And for me, it's really key that we have to stop thinking in silos.
Yeah.
And we have to combine the strengths, for example, of marketing and sales.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's very important that we take leadership on digital transformation. Everybody's talking about digital transformation, but most of the time it's only focused on we want to have a new system.
Yeah, we need a new platform.
We need a new platform, and after we have released that platform, then the transformation is over. And in my opinion, then it's really started.
Yeah.
And one of the most important things that I learned at Damen, that the support that you deliver during and after the implementation of a new kind of system is the most important thing. Because people, it's not that they don't want to change.
No.
Most of the time, they have fear to change, or they don't know how to change, or they are too busy. And you really have to take them by the hand and get them confident in new ways of working and how it can help in their daily processes.
Yeah.
And I think that if you really prove that you can help people with making their life easier and stop with all the stupid processes, the repeated processes that makes your work awful, then I think that everybody wants to change.
Yeah, yeah. What I get from that is, it's not technology. I mean, digital transformation is not technology. It's people. Maybe
It's
processes, but it's for mostly people that need to be supported in going through that change. Right.
Yeah, I think that systems and tooling is only an enabler
Yeah.
for change. And the problem is that most of the companies are not starting from scratch.
No.
They have a legacy.
Yeah.
They have to deal with that legacy.
Yeah.
They want to try to connect old and new systems.
Yeah.
Not always with great success.
It's
But
difficult. Yeah.
saying that you have introduced a system sounds, and then you have a clear end.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about changing people, that's difficult, but because people have resistance
Yeah.
and they don't like it, and they are asking stupid questions or irritating questions.
Yeah. So, if you would consider, going through starting a digital transition, or maybe a digital product, or evolving basically a company towards digital, would your main focus be on the people or on the process?
I think that you have to combine it.
Okay.
You cannot work on the process without working on the people, and also the way around.
And because for me, people it's not just individual. It is individuals, but they usually work in teams. And you already said it a couple of minutes ago. You need to have teams on board, right?
Yeah.
Sales needs to talk to marketing. Product development needs to understand what sales is doing. Some companies now have a customer experience departments, right? Where there's UX on the platform, but there's also all the research done from how what you basically did with Siemens.
Yeah.
What is it that the customer needs? These are all are those the silos you were talking about that you shouldn't?
Yeah, that are also silos that need to be integrated. In my opinion, customer experience is key, but it's not only key.
Okay.
And you have to also look at the goals of the company, the framework of the company. In the end, all the companies need to earn money.
Yeah.
And find the balance between developing your business, developing the culture of your company, and also getting a good overview of what your customer wants and how you can change your portfolio to be in line of the customer needs. That's challenging. And that's also the reason why I think that it has to be a great topic in the boardroom.
Ooh.
Oh.
The B word.
B word, yes,
the
B
boardroom.
word.
Yeah, well, I had a couple of conversations on that, because I usually say we kind of already lost it in the boardroom, right? Because marketing or sorry, or digital is not represented in the boardroom. It's usually in the boardroom part of sales.
Yeah.
They have different agendas. There's a different kind of mindset towards how you interact with customers.
Yeah.
Customer service, something that is not being doesn't have a focus.
Yeah.
So how would we? What needs to happen for a digital transformation track, or a rollout of a digital product or a digital platform? What needs to happen in the boardroom?
I think
what do we need?
I think that we have to keep in mind, why are we doing the transformation?
Yeah.
We are not only transforming a system, but we are trying to work on a brand.
Yeah.
We are trying to add value to the world. Therefore, you cannot only talk about changing systems. You have to keep really keep your brand in mind.
Yeah. So, the entire brand system, basically, everything.
The whole brand system.
Yeah. But who's responsible for that?
That's a good question.
You have an
That's
answer?
really a good question.
Yeah. Because normally when we talk within our agency, we talk to people that own the brand. It's about corporate ID. It's about colors. It's about logos. It's about imaging. This is how the website should look like. This is how the interaction should be, but not as much on the company as So we try to talk about brand stories.
Yeah.
Right, which is a little bit it levitates the whole concept of brand.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of branding companies already do that, but in real life,
Yeah, in real life.
the focus is on that's not the right font, or that's not it's off brand. So what do we need to do to get become more of a unified approach, but between customer experience, brand? How could we do that?
Yeah, in my opinion, therefore, it's crucial that people with a broad background are in the boardroom, and then I especially talk about people with a broad marketing background. That have experience in branding, that have experience also in the MarTech environment.
Yeah.
So they know something about the technical stuff. There are people who are having affinity with data.
Yeah.
And I think that are the new roles
In the boardroom.
in the boardroom. And if you call it's not like a marketing director, or it is like a customer experience director. I don't care about the name.
No.
But we have to take care that it's
The domain needs to be
the domain
owned.
needs to be covered in the boardroom.
Yeah. And would you think, and now we're getting to kind of my kind of view on things, but that unifying, for me, sales and marketing shouldn't be two separate entities, right? It should be something that either is one team
Yeah.
or works really closely
Yeah.
to each other, because I think sales is shifting into marketing, and
Yeah.
marketing is shifting into sales. Just from a tech perspective, exactly what Salesforce has been doing,
Yeah.
right? So they started off as a sales platform
Yeah.
and moved into the marketing space. And
Yeah.
this is, I love Salesforce marketing, gather around your clients.
Yeah.
That whole kind of all-inclusive approach to
360
360
approach.
view
Yeah.
on your customer experience. Sales driven, but also marketing driven.
Yeah.
So brand is something that I'm kind of exploring right now. So
Yeah.
how does that fit in? Because getting into the more of a brand story idea and putting a vision in that, and having, like you said at the beginning, people connect to a brand not
Yeah.
on just the product.
Yeah.
It's a belief kind of thing, right? That they
The
trust.
feeling is your heart.
Yeah.
Your heartbeat is getting beater faster when
Yeah.
you're thinking about a brand.
Yeah, and for some reason in B2C, that there's like 5 million examples of
Yeah.
how that works.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't know how many examples I could name in B2B, right? It might be because of the more complex journey that our clients go through. I don't know, but for me, the idea you said, on branding is also very key in your
Yeah.
entire customer experience. Sounds right. I mean, it's
I think that
it's
we are
logical.
I think that we are still in the beginning of the journey if we're looking at the B2B environment.
Yeah.
And also, if I can add something that you said about sales and marketing, I think that most of the time marketing is focused more on the long term,
Yeah.
about engagement, strengthening the relationship with the customer, and sales is most of the time focusing on at the end of the month
Yeah.
and the end of the quarter. We need to realize our goals,
Yeah.
and we have to find a balance between these two
To make it
if
work.
we really want to have a common approach.
That's interesting. Because I think a lot of, also in B2B, a lot of sales processes are take a long time,
Yeah.
right? So it's not, a conversion is not happening in 2 weeks.
No.
It's minimum of 2 months, and I have customers that take 8 months
Yeah.
to a year and a half for a prospect to convert to a client. So also for marketing, there's a long stretch to
And the
manage
number
that.
of stakeholders you have to deal with
Yeah.
is totally different than
Yeah.
in the B2C
How
environment.
can you already mentioned MarTech?
Yeah.
How can digital support that idea of bringing together the brand and marketing and sales? And you have an idea?
Ooh, that's a nice question.
I just came up with it right now.
I think that MarTech helps us to combine creating a great customer experience. Also helps us to get in contact with customers. For example, if you want to email your customers, you need an email marketing system. If you want to get in contact with your customers via a chatbot, you also need tooling. But in the end, you want to offer your customers one experience.
Yeah, exactly.
For them, it mustn't bother them if they contact you via email, via your call center, or via your chatbot.
Right.
They want to have the same experience.
Right.
And in the ideal situation, if you start your question on the chatbot and you are calling the contact center or sales, you want that you don't have to explain
Again.
your story again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that sounds simple, but to have to offer an omni-channel experience and a seamless experience, you need to have an integrated MarTech environment.
Yeah. And so we need a strategy or a tactic or a plan, basically, just
Yes.
to combine everything.
Yeah.
And of course, as a head of e-commerce, I don't know. Is that the kind of the pinnacle of that entire process? This is where considering e-commerce is not only transactional, so not just
No.
filling your basket and hitting the sales button,
Yeah.
or the buy button, but it's the entire experience or the entire marketing and sales journey that people go on to. It's so. Where would you start? And maybe I'm ahead of the music, but when in your next role, where would you start? Where's the probably canvassing, seeing what's already there, but what would be your first kind of idea on? Is it writing a plan? Is it talking to people? Is it
First, talk with the people and get an overview of the status quo. But if you're looking at in general at B2B companies, I think that they forgot if they have a portal or they are going to create a portal, that's the place where it all will happen.
Yeah.
I see a lot of companies that asking for campaign managers or want people to do SEO and spend a lot of money on Google. In my opinion, that's throwing money into the basket.
Yeah.
If you look at if you're going to create a good customer portal, that's the place where you can have the real interactions with your customer. You get the first party data.
Yeah.
You are able to. You are having the steering wheel. So you are able to get interactions with your customers based on the data of same type of customers. You are able to give them suggestions how they can change their business or let their business growth. I think that if you use the portal environment as the enabler for their business, then you will have a totally different relationship with your customers, and they are not willing to go to a competitor.
Right. So ease of doing business in the portal.
Yeah.
Making sure everything is there, kind of self-service, what they're used to, but also the connection, I think, with real people, right? I mean, that's what I always hear back.
Yeah.
Well, portal is fine, but we have our key account manager that is actually closing everything. I'm not sure that will be the case in 5 years. I think a lot of business that has been conducted through e-commerce. So I used to talk about portals, but now it's e-business, e-commerce. That's what it is, right? Have a really good e-commerce manager or a portal manager, for me, is maybe more important than getting the SEO specialist on board, right? But so also that the portals have been evolving. We from our company, we've been developing a lot of portals. I think the most successful ones were the ones where we didn't talk about tech.
Yeah.
We talked about the integration of sales, getting key account managers on board to have their customers use the portal, and then have actually one of our big clients. They hired a portal manager, basically the e-commerce manager that did all the managing of the 5-6 different portals, which allowed the company to, grow without too much effort from sales.
Yeah.
With, looking forward, and we'll just leave your e-commerce role alone for now. But looking forward, how do you think in general will that evolve? Right. So, if I'm a consumer, I can do everything. If I want to change my mobile plan, I go online, change everything, buy a phone while I'm there anyway.
Yeah.
So, but when I want to order, I don't know, 2 truckloads of I don't know, beans.
Yeah.
I have to go to a key account manager. I have to talk to logistics, talk to purchasing, and in the B2B.
Mm-hmm.
Will that change?
I think that.
Or is it too complex?
No, I think that most of the people talking about, when they're talking about a portal, they are talking about a self-service, and I really hate that word, because then, as a customer, I got the idea that I have to do all the stupid stuff myself.
Yeah. Okay. Never thought about that. But
that's one of the aspects.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if I'm a customer, I want that the company is helping me to enable my business.
Yeah.
And if I'm getting information, if I'm getting data that are relevant for my business, and I feel that the company really wants to enable my business, I think that aspect is at this moment not evolved.
So you should focus on that then.
I think that you should focus on how you can get add real value to your customers, and therefore it's important that you have a clear overview of the customer journey, and that you are having insights in the pain of the customers, and about what kind of information they really need to let their business grow.
And can we derive that just from data, or do we also need other types of input to get that done?
Now, I think that you still need the key account managers to make the combination of what a customer can see in his portal, and he knows others. He has other information about trends, technology, or other customers. And I think that we need the personal alignment.
Yep.
Finally, if you want to have a real partnership, the portals can be very helpful in these partnerships, but you cannot say a key account manager isn't necessary anymore.
No,
but his
I
role
agree.
will change.
Yeah.
He can focus on creating added value beside the portal instead of
Picking up the
giving-
phone for every tiny question and running. Yeah. I agree. I think that's. I think for a lot of organizations, that's still a long way off. I guess. Not sure, but so that would be the focus for the next 3 years in B2B.
3,
Cre-
5, 7.
I don't know. I think everything is evolving. Everything is moving faster. That we are actually having this discussion on, the role of sales combined with our marketing and digital efforts is already a nice step, I guess. But yeah, so if we focus on creating an environment where we enable partnerships and actually create value on a digital level, that will be a really nice next step, I guess, right?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. And talk a little bit about data, how that will help get the insights, of course. There's a lot of data coming at us, right? So if we open up certain platforms or portals, there's so we need, again, people, or maybe not. Maybe AI is a thing, but we'll see. But we need some way to interpret all that data, right? How do you feel that is going to affect the role of an e-commerce manager, for instance?
I think that we have to start with creating a clear customer profile. We can talk about data, but that's container.
Yeah.
I think that you have to have a clear overview, or what should be my ideal customer, which information do I already have about this customer, and which information do I need if I want to make our company and his company successful in the future.
Right.
And if you have that framework, then you can go to the next step and look, how can we get the data that we really need? Do we have to ask our customer to give us information, or can we buy data from other companies to?
Do you believe in tracking behavior? So I mean, for a lot of B2C organizations, it's creating the customer profiles and tracking how they buy, how they gather information. It's kind of the norm. I mean, I don't know if they already make full use of its potential, but at least they're tracking it. I'm not sure how we do that yet in B2B.
Tracking is just one aspect. I think that having the conversations and also know why people doing the things they are doing, and the way how they are thinking in making decisions, more the psychological aspect. If you only do tracking, you don't get the story behind.
No. And so, but if we do follow behavior, and we put some smart brain or AI,
of course,
and we create that profile, we enrich the profile. How is that going to be the next thing in how we in B2B engage with clients, with customers? So be more relevant based on what they have done, maybe on, I can imagine that if you actually have that profile, I know Salesforce is doing a really good job in that, but and combine buying behavior, but also browser behavior, combine it with social behavior,
transactional
behavior, you get this total profile of, maybe you can even do prediction on what people are doing next.
I think that if you have all that kind of data sources, AI can help you to filter out what's really relevant for you, and what can be the next steps, and prediction should be possible.
That'd
but
be
before
great,
we can do that, we have to fix the basics.
Yeah. So, and maybe again, but where for you is the start of the basics? What's the foundation? Is it? You said talking to people. That's where you start canvassing on the state and understanding the status quo.
Yeah, but also we can talk about AI, but if we didn't fix the basics, we didn't get the basic information that we need to use AI in a relevant way, then we really have nothing.
Yep.
So first do the alignment of your system and tools, take care of the quality of your data,
Yeah.
because even that is a really
Ooh.
big issue.
Yeah.
If you can have Salesforce, but if the data in Salesforce are not up to date or not even filled in, then you have a system, but it's nothing.
Garbage in, garbage out.
In, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So just fix the basics on the data side, on the technical side, but also on the people side.
What does that mean?
Well,
Fix it on the
on
people
the people side,
Yes.
Working on the culture of your company. What do you expect from people? How can you enable them to use data in a good way? How can you help them to get more confident with working with systems? How can you help them also help your colleagues with making the step to a more digital environment?
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Is that so? I never heard culture before. That's interesting. So change, of course, can affect culture, but
Yeah.
is a digital transformation or a digital evolution, is that in a more of a traditional environment? Is that always a cultural change as well?
Phew.
I mean, I'm not a change manager, but I'm kind of thinking there's. You said culture, and I
Yeah.
kind of thought, but it's all the things that we're talking about is such a different approach to how things have been going. We're talking about people, processes, maybe culture should be in there as well, and then tech.
Yeah. Tech is just an enabler.
Yeah, I know. So let's leave tech out then.
Yeah,
Right.
but maybe
I have a digital company, right? A digital agency. So it's for me, tech is a kind of an important thing. We build stuff. Luckily, we do a lot of processes and help people as well. But if it's such a big change in how people should interact with each other
Yeah.
and how processes interact with people, then it might also be something that affects culture.
Yeah, I think
Question mark.
that maybe we put people and culture on the first place. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It could be, yeah. I think that would, if you approach the transition or the evolution from that side, or from that angle, you might solve. If you do start there,
Yeah.
you might solve some problems that we are facing now, and when we start the whole thing in another way.
But even then, if you don't have the focus, if you don't know what is the final point you want to achieve,
Yeah.
you have to have the goal. If you don't have the goal, you can talk about people, you can talk about technology and process, but why are we doing all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, usually the answers I get is, be more cost efficient, be more efficient in the broad scope. Competitors are doing it.
But even if you are really cost driven, you need to have a plan, and you need to focus on your people to really make the change.
Yeah, right. But then the goal should be to add value or to change your business model, or
Yeah, that depends.
Can it be cost driven?
It also depends on their company. I think that most of the companies not talking about enough about adding value, or about creating a more sustainable world,
Right.
or making people happier, or they are just doing their business because they have to. That sounds not very nice, but I think in the end it is.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree there. Yeah, yeah. So, if you have a piece of advice, lessons you learned, the one thing that you think, if you get to this point where you need to make decisions on how to change business, maybe business culture, What would be that one piece of advice that you would give somebody that would ask you?
Put more attention to people. Take time to get people on board. And you cannot realize it within a week, but it really takes time. Another advice, the management is key. If you don't have the buy-in of the management, don't start a fight. Because if they are not willing to support you...
Or make changes. Don't start.
And don't start because it only costs you energy. But you are the one who are exhausted in the end.
Yeah.
And nothing really has changed. And if you're in an environment like that, choose your battles. And there are enough other companies that are looking for good people.
Yeah, I agree. Wow, that's I think that's solid, right? It's not a lot of people will say that, right? It's just, of course you get a job, but if leadership or the environment isn't ready for it,
yeah, but
can you make that change at all? It's just
and that's really crucial. That's the crucial factor. If you are not supported by your management, then the chance that the transition will be successful is
kind of slim. Well, I have like 20, 30 more ideas that I want to discuss with you. We're kind of running out of time. So thank you so much for your insights. Is there anything else that you would like to kind of leave here, or stuff for us to think about? Or maybe for a question you have for us.
I know that you are already for more than 30 years with your company in digital transformation. I would love to hear more about it because from the contacts that I have with your colleagues, I hear such nice stories.
Oh, that's so nice.
Please share it with us.
Okay, won't do it right now, but we'll make sure that we'll be a little bit more outspoken on our own kind of journey that we're on.
Yeah, because I think that a lot of that kind of examples can also inspire other people.
Yeah.
How you can really make change.
Oh, good to hear. So, thank you very much. We have a question for you that our previous guest has asked. And it kind of goes back to the end. So we talked about, how do you make things change? How do you make sure you're going to be successful? But he asked a question on, so if you go through this whole track, how do you embed this process in the organization? So the customer experience, the digital customer experience with the branding, that whole idea, and how do you kind of make it stick? How do you make it a priority?
Well,
so you do your project, right? You do your thing, and then it needs to be sustainable. It can't just be a project, right? It needs to. It's a change. So
it's part of it. It has to become part of your daily job.
Yeah, and how do you do that?
Daar moet ik even over nadenken.
That's fine. Take your time.
nog een keer.
Yeah. So if you run this transformation, and there's a point where you kind of so we transformed, right? It kind of works. It's what we call it an evolution.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an ongoing thing, but
of course,
at a certain point you lost your tail, right? So that's done. You will still keep evolving, but how do you make sure that the stuff that you went through and the changes that you made, how do you make? Well, you talked about value. How do you make sure everybody reaps that value? Is it something that is tangible? Is it bottom line thing? Is it culture?
You have to embed and secure it in your processes. I think that's one very important thing. Also, you have to embed it in your culture. in the way how you're working with teams, in the way you're working with other departments. So, and also talk with each other about it. Start a conversation and discussion how we can keep it alive and giving it attention.
Good.
I think that's the most important thing. How can we make it just as important as the facts at the end of the month, if we have earned enough money or not?
Yeah.
That you have a discussion also in the boardroom or in the management team every month. Not only are we on track with the facts, but also are we on track with our transformation, and are we really doing the right things to be also able to add value in the future to our customers?
Right. Beautiful. Thank you for this. And again, thank you for your insights and input. Love having you here.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Good. Thanks.
Stay connected to the Evolving Digital Podcast.